Hello fellow theme park builders, Mike here with an early return to the Planko season. I am aware I stated was over in the last video, but I couldn't resist making this video as I did get my hands on a PS5 a little earlier than I planned to. So the ability to upgrade my park Suma Beach on Planet Coaster console edition from PS4 to PS5 was too big of a temptation to pass up. I actually got the PS5 earlier than I planned due to the release of Battlefield 2042, and the opportunity to get early beta access again was too tempting to pass up, so I got the PS5 for that reason. And now we're here back on Planet Coaster for you thrill seekers, designers and engineers. As I mentioned in the last video here, this park is inspired by Southend Seafront and Clacton Pier, both in my home counties of Essex, and also inspired by the Costa del Sol in southern Spain. I guess if I was a multi-billionaire and I could acquire the land and get the planning permission, this is what I would build on a huge chunk of the southern coast of Spain. A British man's stamp on the beautiful Mediterranean coast. What do you reckon, guys? Can we make it happen? Crowdfund maybe? I don't know. So in the description below you can find a link to the PS4 version of this park that is still on the workshop for you to download. This park has been uploaded as its own download, so those of you on PS4 can still download this park in its original PS4 state. This PS5 park is a little over the 100% build limit, maybe about 8 or 10% over. I did blueprint in a final bunch of details, from props to rocks and trees and some lightings and railings and stuff like that. I was in a rush to get this park finished, so there are some things I would have liked to have done, but I'm glad the limit has forced me to draw a line under the project and share the park with you guys, and now leaves me free to go outside and get some fresh air and maybe work on another project soon. I don't want to sound repetitive, so if you want to know a little more about this park, you can watch the PS4 tour where I talk a little more about it. So all I want to do is show the changes that have been made from PS4 to PS5 versions, and I guess we will start with the pier in the middle here. There hasn't been much huge change here, maybe a little more lighting in some places. Every ride now has a sign, so the signs for each ride are new. And over on the west side of the pier here, we had an empty lot right here with a sign saying coming soon. If you watched or downloaded the PS4 park, you may have seen this. Now we have a pier diner that is one of the most popular and money generating restaurants in the park. This has a roof terrace that extends over the top of the Matrix arcade. The only thing I had to change on the arcade was to move the Matrix sign on this side over a little to house the bridge across from the diner. The pier hasn't changed much. There are some more signs on the front, some have been switched around to make enough space, and some new decor on the inside of the entrance here. So moving on, the arcade bar and restaurant strip hasn't changed much either. There is some more detailing, like these signs for the rides on the buildings here. These posters and my own custom cars have been replaced with the in-game cars, saving a huge amount on the build allowance. At this end there is now like a helicopter ride booking pitch stall here, if you like, with some emergency vehicles that used to be just a bunch of my own cars and buses. There was also one of my custom camper staff room vans here that has now gone, saving even more build allowance. There was a old rundown villa at this end of the strip here that was boarded up and ready to be demolished for the building of the new complex and park. So now it's gone. There is this service road that takes you around the back of the buildings here. The boulevard walk to and from the entrance hasn't changed much, except all these extra neon signs over the faces of the buildings and an entrance into the new hotel that we can take a look at later. This poolside area hasn't changed much at all. Really, everything is pretty much how it was on PS4. I was going to get some more hotel entrances in up here, but I sacrificed it for other things. Okay, that's about it. Let's take a quick look at this car parking lot and marina over here before finishing up with the Funland amusement park district and the new Suma hotel and amusement park. The same again here, my custom cars have all gone and replaced with the in-game cars to save on build allowance, all except my camper van, as there isn't one in the game to use, and it suits the theme of this park so well I had to leave a couple in there. I've extended walls, replaced my custom buses and added more signs, flags and details to make the parking lot a little more authentic. I was going to make the marina a little bigger with some more boats, but it just did not warrant the build expense for enough visual difference, so I just settled for an extra yacht and some more in-game boats and switched around the layout, and I think this does the job. So let's head back down to the other end of the park to Funland and take a look at what's changed over here. As you can see, this area has gone under some huge developments comparing it to the PS4 version. There has been some more excavation of the land at the rear of the park, and back on the PS4 version we had these walls segregating off the whole area, stating it was under construction. Now it's all opened up and extended the park with another new coaster called Canyon Express. And a bunch of new flat rides, attractions and food courts. I'll do a POV of the coasters at the end of the video. Okay, before we move on to the brand new Suma Hotel and Amusement Park, there is a couple of other changes here to show you. We had this construction site on the PS4 version, but since then the builders here have managed to get some work done, and now the new hotel is a little taller, but this whole piece is a design element, so it was always meant to stay. I never intended to turn it into a completed hotel. Finally, before we get to the new development, I'll show you these new villas across the water here. Before there was only this one cluster of buildings that I implemented to add some scenery to the opposite side of the lake and positioned it to frame some awesome shots of the park from across the water. Now we have a bunch of villas to get some views from and to add a little more detail to the backdrop when you're in the park. The air balloons above this area have changed position since they was on PS4, and now there is this extra air balloon preparing for its ascent into the skies of Suma Beach in this meadow I created purely because who don't like meadows. to launch your hot air balloon from, right? Okay, I'll tease you no more. Let's go take a look at the biggest development on the PS5 version of this park. Here we are at Suma Hotel and Amusement Park that kinda sets itself apart from the rest of the resort. I always intended this to be another separate amusement park. I was going to have paths that went up onto the poolside here from the entrance and then down into the park, like that was a way into the park from the hotel for the guests, but again I sacrificed this for other things. So taking a quick look at the old PS4 version, you can see this was nothing but one huge construction site with my custom construction vehicles and crane that you can download from my profile on the Frontier Workshop. This development brought a whole new high-rise hotel to the area called Suma Hotel, obviously. That has an entrance down here by the park entrance and its own poolside area. This all overlooks the new park here that I called Full Adventure, but I gave it that Spanish theme and used the Spanish translation that I believe is Fuerte Aventura. In Fuerte Aventura, you get another two more coasters, one called the Gator and one called Scorpion. There is another 5 more flat rides, more food courts, and over here is the boardwalk, home to more services, staff rooms, and all with a close-up view of the drop and first loop on the Scorpion coaster. Over this side we have exotic waterfalls and rock formations to give some views to the overlookers from up in the hotel and by the poolside here. Down in the lake or pond there is some croc animatronics, a couple here that snap at passing coaster carts. Then this one over here jumps up out of the water and snaps at the legs of the guests on the passing carts of the Scorpion coaster just before they swoop up into the part of the coaster that I call the Scorpion Tail, that inspired the name for the coaster. So what's left? The beach itself hasn't changed. I have maybe moved around a tree or a plant, and I have definitely moved around boats. I did want to change these cowboys on this boat to a couple of the film crew animatronics, but I forgot to do it before going over the build limit. So they're there, always a couple of cowboys just floating around just off the shore of Suma beach. But you know what, maybe they're a couple of guys stranded after a long night of drinking at a fancy dress party or something. Maybe a couple of guys on a stag night, and one of these dudes is gonna be late for his wedding, I'm guessing. Whatever, I don't let these little things bother me, and neither should you. There is a big world out there, and this is just a game, right? I'm going to leave it there and let you take a few last looks at the park in a short montage. I won't have time to do a guest cam walk around, so if you're on Xbox or PC and want to see more, you will have to ask a PlayStation YouTuber to do a walk around review or buy a PlayStation. That's it from me. Be sure to favourite and vote up when you download, and don't forget to hit that like, comment, share, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy building.